Let me know also, like,
What?
your feelings on the Rays, too.
We
Stop
uploaded a
playing.
new intro, right?
Yeah, is there a new intro?
Yes, good reminder.
Shailene.
Wow. What's up, guys? And welcome to the new and improved Clickbait. That's right, guys. We're changing things up this week and every week going forward. This week, we have 3 15-minute segments. The first segment is the Clickbait you know and love, condensed. From there, we got an interview. We got a special guest lined up for you guys that 5 was able to come on the show, to bring on the show, rather. And we're going to end that. We're going to end with this 15-minute segment of some live improv games. I'm excited, but I'm not doing this on my own. Joining me for the new and improved Clickbait, we have to my left. It is that Packers fan that you know and love. Make some noise, ladies and gentlemen, for Tom Grossi. Tom, how are you doing today?
I'm wearing pants.
Whoa, you have pants on today?
I wore pants. You said new and improved, so I wore pants, okay? Look at that.
Ooh, look at that donk right there.
We just got
Master
some.
Davis.
That dump
Love
truck.
it. In your
Have we
top
really
left
changed?
corner, we have the Giants fan. 5.5. How are we doing today?
I'm good. I won this shirt. We'll tell you about this. For the first time in my life, I got you know how they throw the t-shirts at you?
You caught it.
I got this. I caught it.
We
With an
see
assist
you
from
five.
Trey.
No.
It's
We
way
see
oversized too. It does
Depriving
not
young
fit.
children of t-shirts. We
Yeah.
see you. But listen, speaking of deprivation, this is not a height joke. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Brandon Perna, let's ride. We love you. How are you doing today, Perna?
Feeling a little small right now, to be honest. Welcome to the new and improved Clickbait Sports that looks just like all the other Clickbait Sports.
It really does.
Just
It really
clickier
does. Let's
and
see how it
baitier.
plays out, though. And last, but certainly not least, we have your favorite Yinzer. This man was on national television. We're going to get into all of that. Urinating Tree, how are the vibes today?
Well, I wasn't actually on national television. It was more a regional sports network.
International
counts.
television.
International. Oh, come on. We're talking about a dude that was on ESPN and a guy was on the Today Show.
They were watching North Korea. They were watching Urinating Tree. It was
as
broadcast
a
all over.
prison experiment. Unfortunately, that's a form of torture.
They talked. They
They did.
Listen, this whole thing is an experiment. And like I said, we are going to get into all NFL news. Aaron Rodgers saga, it's still dragging on. Lamar Jackson saga, it's still dragging on. Anthony Richardson had dinner with the Panthers owner. We're going to get into all of that. But before we do, ladies and gentlemen, 5 points entry, take us through what happened. Why were you on TV? What was going on in New York? Set it up for us.
Well, all I have to say is severe case of imposter syndrome going on. I was actually in New York for the past couple days, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Tuesday, I just spent editing most of the time, so that's how I got a bit out during the Rangers game. But I did want to say it's my 5th time in New York. I was actually invited over as like a partnership between the management group that represents me and MSG. So I figured it'd be interesting, give it a shot. So it was kind of like a Manning cast. Extreme nerves. I felt like, severe imposter syndrome going on there, very real, because I'm just some rando dude. I'm surrounded by professionals, and I'm like looking at the camera and fun stuff like that. But it was a good time. It was mainly for a segment during the second period. I believe it's available on the MSG Network YouTube page, so I'll probably end up linking that later on. Good experience. I took this guy right there. That's how he won that T-shirt. He'll mention about the highlights of his day, which were watching the Rangers beat the ever-loving crap out of the Columbus Blue Jackets 6-2. And about how Mika Zibanejad scored a goal, so he got the over.
Yeah, it was a great experience. My first time at Madison Square Garden. We sat in the lower bowl. We got access to the Delta Club, which is like the luxury suite area. They served prime rib off of tomahawk steaks for us. They had chicken wings. They had unlimited soda, unlimited popcorn. It was great. Like,
Did you
let me
drink
hype
more
this
than
up.
one soda?
I did. I don't drink soda, so I only had. But I was really thirsty, so I had one soda.
And you had a bunch of mules too. But
yeah, I did have a bunch of meals. And then after the game, so I put $50 on a Mika Zibanejad anytime goal. He scored in the third period, and I went absolutely nuts.
you went berserk.
So I hit on Mika Zibanejad -110. And then they said that we were allowed to go on the ice.
That's awesome.
So, yes, but there were some hiccups. There was some drama. So I went down to the area that we're in. MSG Networks gave us credentials, but I got to the ice area and the girl was like, "What are you doing down here?" I was like, they said that we could go on the ice, like, because there's a whole bunch of people on the ice, and she was like, I was like, "I have press passes." She's like, "Well, you can't just go on the ice." And then I was like, "Well, let me wait for it," because Tree and Jeff, right?
Jeff,
he didn't make it down when I did because I saw an advantage and I took it. So I'm standing up against the rink and I see a guy. I'm like, "Hey, I'm just standing here. I'm waiting for my guys to come down. It's okay if I stand here." He goes, "You look really familiar." He was like, "Do I know you from somewhere?" I was like, "I am a YouTuber." He's like, 5 points. So my man Carter in this picture happens to work at MSG. Was like, "You're good. Come on down to the ice." Got us out on the ice.
Move.
We took a picture on the face-off dot, and it's all on Instagram. It was on Twitter, so it just ended the night perfectly. Carter was an awesome dude. We got talking to him about he's a Ravens fan. We were talking about Lamar and all that stuff, which is a great segue.
It is
into
a great
the actual
segue.
show.
But before we
Thank
get into
you,
that,
MSG Networks.
one word to sum up your trip. Tree, one word to sum up the whole trip. What is it? What was that trip?
Surreal.
Surreal. What are we going? One word. Sum it up.
Steak. Steak was great. It was
Steak.
just amazing.
Okay.
That was good.
We're going to transition now into the NFL news. We got about 8 minutes to talk about everything that's been happening in the NFL. Let us begin with player safety because it was just announced that
Not for it. Next.
Yeah, it appears as if the NFL is allowing teams to play 2 Thursday night football games this year. What is the rapid reaction to that? 5, you're shaking your head. What's going on?
I love Thursday night football because it's an extra day of football. I hate it for the players. It is just an injury waiting to happen for all. I feel bad for the player. They work hard enough already, but at the same time, I'm very thirsty for football all the time. So I will watch both games, enjoy both games. I will sympathize with the players and probably will side for them on every CBA from now on because
that's fair.
They deserve it.
Tom, rapid reaction. See, 2 games now. You can play 2 Thursday night football games. How are we feeling about this?
No, I like the idea that they could flex if there's enough time, but I don't like the fact that they're playing 2 Thursday night games. Brandon and I talked about this on GPS. It's going to put like the top teams there, and Brandon brought up a good point saying that it's going to be right around playoffs because it's going to happen around December, and teams don't want that quick turnaround, so I don't think it's going to end well.
How are these flex rules work? Like if you hadn't been flexed, you get flexed into Thursday. That is so unfair too. Like you find out on Wednesday that you're playing tomorrow. What is the deal here?
I think it has to be like a week before at least, right? And that makes weird sense for the fan base as well. You expect playing a Sunday afternoon, Sunday like 1 o'clock game, and then you realize, oh, we're playing Thursday night. Screws up your plans. You may have to sell your tickets.
Dumb.
Plug for SeatGeek, code word TREE, $20 off your first purchase in case that happens.
Perna, what are your thoughts on this?
Who?
Perna.
Cash grab is 100% correct.
We're all cash grabbing, man.
Whoa.
Bench warmer brew.
Bench warmer brew, baby.
I think.
Are we really a different show?
Maybe they should just have one team only play Thursday night football games.
Ooh, I like that.
Season.
Ooh,
whoever finishes
Dallas
in last place has to be the Thursday night team
every week.
That's a form of relegation.
I'm not opposed to that. Some other changes though in the NFL. Some rules came out that did not get approved. They were having a rule voted on that said you can challenge if this was actually roughing the passer or not did not get approved. Why do we think that is, Tom?
Because it slows the game down even more so. And plus, I mean, besides maybe you guys, because it is opening day, right? Today's opening day. I've seen a lot of umpires being real as of late. They're getting really peeved, and it's just spring training and stuff. I think NFL referees are a second place, though, of the most like fickle.
Or they like to insert themselves into the game. That's number one when it comes to baseball. Is the umpire wants to make it about him. Gotta make it about me. I'm bigger than the game. And yes, correctly in the NFL, the refs are like that.
What happens if the Giants lose more games on the new turf? Do you get back the old turf and you sacrifice some ACLs?
So I learned when I went out to meet Brandon, I learned that the Giants don't have a say really in the turf. I mean, maybe they influence now, but MetLife, the company, whoever owns MetLife is who is responsible for the turf. But I guess the Giants pressured them into replacing it. So yes. So really the Giants don't have anything to do with it. Are we going to name these coaches, by the way?
I don't know, but I did want to say one thing. That roughing the passer rule, it would not have worked. If you remember, back in 2019, they tried reviewing roughing the passer rules. And there was some agreed... Or
pass
sorry,
interference.
Pass interference. Sorry.
Yeah,
that was an some egregious stuff that never got overturned because they didn't want to like hurt the refs' egos. They always went in the ruling on the field. I think there were only like 2 or 3 pass interference calls that were either called or overturned because of that rule. And I think one of them was against Steelers versus Seahawks that year. And otherwise, like, you're just in there like the same thing would have happened. They would have kept the ruling on the field. They wouldn't have changed much, maybe 1 or 2 as a token, but it would have been a failure regardless because the officials union has way too much power.
Yeah,
Get off my lawn, Shadow.
I'm with you guys. Brandon, you got something to say?
It's sad that I agree with you, Tree, but it shouldn't be that way, right? It should be an opportunity for the officials to re-look at a play a little bit more closely and correct their mistake, but we're all under the assumption that they're just going to double down on their original call so they don't look like they made a mistake.
Right. They're like your wife. They're not going to admit they're wrong, and they're going to double down on it. Not your wife, Brandon, just anybody's wife.
Yeah, my wife.
I was like, there will be no
Never
just
apologize.
slander tolerated here.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh, they'll double down somewhere below, but that's really about it.
That's fair.
You've never
we're gonna
been
keep
married,
this thing
Tree. You
moving
don't
though,
know.
and we're gonna get into
I'm aware.
the sagas. Aaron Rodgers still on the Packers, still not traded. Tom, take us through the latest. What's been going on?
I can do it all with my eyes closed, guys.
Honestly, there's not a whole lot of
that story just dropped.
You have Goody though. So Goody, last week, or was it this dude? I got to be honest. I don't even remember. I think it was last week at this point. It might have been this week. I really have no track of time. Anyway, Goody. Oh, it was Monday. Goody came out and literally said that they couldn't get in touch with Aaron Rodgers, and that's why they ultimately had to make the decision to trade him. Because he wasn't picking up his phone. So
he was in a darkness.
Yeah, so that was a time. So he got out of the darkness on 223, and then on 228, that's when Goody was like, "Oh, we gotta see about both sides." So it's a weird timeline at this point. Packers fans, I think we're just tired of it. Not to speak for all Packers fans, but we just want to like, hey, just move on. Like let's get this going. He's gonna get traded. Let's have a nice day.
And I don't want to hijack, but Theo's in the green room, so can we do this coaches segment real quick?
Why don't we just do it after?
You want to do it after?
Yeah, we have more time at the end.
Nobody gives a shit about the coaches.
But I want to test your coach's
they want
knowledge.
Theo, and they want him now.
So yeah,
Fine.
we can talk about all this stuff later. We got Theo in the green room. We'll talk about Lamar Jackson. We'll talk about some of these other things later. But I'm gonna hand this over to 5 now. And 5, if you want to do an intro, we can get our guy in here. And chat, if you guys have any questions that you would like to ask Theo as well, make sure you're commenting those in the chat, and maybe we can relay some of those to him. But 5, the floor is yours.
Today we have a mystery guest. I don't know if y'all know who he is. I just figured out who he is. It's Theo Ash.
What a great intro.
Dude, that is an incredible
Really
intro.
hyped up the guest 5. I don't know who he is. You might not
Yeah,
know.
there
He's
needs no introduction.
nothing of like what he does, the kind of content he makes.
exactly.
I'm just saying, look,
Here's the
he's
guy.
a
Full
famous.
first name.
He has a podcast.
He's-
Got a YouTube channel. He correctly understood that Zach Wilson was going to be ass in the NFL. So
I'm sorry,
I
I'm
was-
going biased that this guy looks like Justin Bieber's kid.
Theo,
No,
Theo, can you
okay.
introduce yourself? Since
Yes,
Five
why don't
did
you
a
introduce
terrible
yourself?
job. Let us know
It's a
who
great
you
job.
are.
Make
What
the
do you
guest.
way handsomer than all of
us.
us. It's all good.
Very true.
Some of you may not know me. It's very true. I am usually posting on TikTok, so it's very valid that this maybe a little bit of an older demographic may not know who I am. But yes, I do a lot of NFL analysis on TikTok and Twitter and YouTube and whatnot, and I've been doing it for a couple years now. So if you don't know who I am, that's who I am.
Now you know.
Now you know.
Now
If you don't know, now you know.
That's right.
Nailed
All right.
it.
Speaking of that, I will ask the questions, and if you guys have your special questions, you can pop in. We will have Theo on for the next 15-minute segment. Tell us about your rise as a creator, Theo. What did you start out doing? And obviously, you kind of said you did TikTok, but what do you do now? And how did you start off just getting into this business?
Well, I started out as a reply guy on Twitter, really, and just following guys that I like and analysts that I liked, and just kind of like replying to their stuff and consuming their stuff. That was back in high school. In college, I went to school for sports journalism at ASU at Cronkite, and during COVID, I started a TikTok account where I was just posting all my football takes, because on Twitter they weren't getting much traction, and TikTok, it has the algorithm that shows your videos and your content to people who don't even follow you, which Twitter, I mean, I guess it kind of has now, but TikTok at the time was really where it was easy to blow up, and I think a lot easier to go viral, or a lot easier to get eyes on your work. So that's what I was doing. I was just posting on there, and I was posting Michael Thomas propaganda, and overall I was posting anti Larry Fitzgerald stats and just pushing whatever agendas came into my mind at the time, and that was it. It got popular, and here I am now.
Go after the most beloved receiver in Cardinals.
They did. Sure. They seriously did need to go at Larry Fitzgerald. Had no haters, and I got a little.
I'm sorry. I mean,
it was
as a pick guy, like that is immediate
hilarious.
slander. I will declare exterminatus on anyone that goes after Larry Fitzgerald. I'm sorry.
I like him more now than I did before, but my main thing with him was he does not have more tackles than drops in his career. I don't know where that stat came from. They made it up, and that was my Larry Fitzgerald propaganda.
Yo,
that stat is some random graphic that like a company that I don't even
probably
know
like
if
Butt
they
Crack
exist.
Sports or something came up with.
I don't know where they got that number, but it is not real. But
yo, before we go any further,
yes.
what team do you root for? Like, who are you representing over here?
I'm a Packers fan.
That's right, baby.
Oh no!
I'm a Green Bay Packers fan. I am.
That's right.
I
Just
am.
talking about Jordan Love. Am I right, Theo?
I just did a video on him. I literally
you
just
just
made
did.
a video about him, and I think he's going to be better than people think that he is. I really do think so. But I don't know. I have kind of shied away from the Packers fandom, or not shied away from it, but since I've been covering the league as a whole, or doing analysis on every team, I try not to be too biased towards the Packers, although some Bears fans and I'm sure other NFC North fans pick up on the fact that I do lean slightly green. So
I got you. Now, speaking of that, what is your spiciest take of all time that just happened to be correct? Where you were like, all right, I'm going to unleash a scorcher, just maybe a little bit hyperbolic, but then it ends up being completely correct. Can you think of one where you were kind of spitballing, but it was right in there?
Hopefully the Jordan Love one. But the one that's probably the best so far is is the Zach Wilson take. Oh my, I really did not like him coming out of BYU. I thought it was a total Mickey Mouse
Why?
situation because in 2020 BYU, of course, they were the one team on the West Coast that was not scared of COVID, BYU, which is on brand for BYU. They did not the Pac-12 and all the California schools, they were scared of COVID. So none of them played like a real football season, which is also on brand for them. So you got BYU with no one to play. And so they were playing New Mexico State and like Austin Tech and just these schools that they should not have been playing. And they were Alabama in these situations, man. Zach Wilson could have held the ball for 15 seconds every single play if he wanted to. There were a bunch of contested catches that he threw that like Dax Milne would just moss the guy and look like he looked like Jamar Chase.
BYU
Right, he looked like Chase Young out there. Or not Chase Young, Jamar Chase out there. And I was just watching him. I'm like, how many of these throws are NFL situation throws? They're not. They're running around with no sense of like progression, and it's just freestyling, and he throws up this prayer and his guy comes down with it. There was a lot of that at BYU with him. I didn't like his pocket presence. He had no good film versus good teams, like versus actual legit college football teams in the years prior when he actually had to play the Pac-12. He wasn't getting any first round hype. He was like a day 3 flyer. And then he really took advantage of a bad schedule. You hear that all the time, like they were a COVID merchant, especially with the Lakers and the ring they won. Mm-hmm. But with the only real COVID merchant, I don't think the Lakers one was. The only real COVID merchant was Zach Wilson at BYU. And I had like a really low grade on him. I had like a 40-minute video where I was just like shitting on him for a long time.
Oh, Theo, we don't.
It was your last video on like your channel. You're just like, this is my walk-off video before I switch to your collab channel.
Basketball. Yeah.
Yes, it was the last one. And there are some other good videos on that account. I said that the 49ers would miss the playoffs after they were in the Super Bowl in 2019, and they did. That was a video on that channel. I said Washington would make the playoffs after they went 2-15 that same year, and they did. They were terrible, but they still won that division. I think that was like they went 7-9.
That was the bad NFC East year.
That was the bad NFC East year. So that was kind of lucked into that one. That was a good take. And then this last year, I really thought the Rams were going to be bad. I thought they'd miss the playoffs and have a crazy Super Bowl hangover, and I was even too high on them than they ended up being. But that was a take that people were mad at me at. I said they'd have like one of the worst offensive lines in the league, and just overall would be very mediocre. And they were
bad. So you got to name all your hits right there. Way to gloss, Theo. What's your biggest whiff of all time? Where you're just
there's a lot of those.
Oh, I did not see that coming.
See,
anything
Theo,
related.
People don't understand. You have to take risks to get right. You got to put yourself out there. All I'm saying is, I'm with you, Theo. Whatever you're about to say,
you got to do
I'm
it for other teams too, Scooter.
You took a chance, Theo.
You can't just whiff all the time on one
Scooter,
team.
you quadrupled down on every single take.
You took a chance, Theo. That's what mattered. What did you say?
Late February, and he's just like Cowboys Super Bowl. I'm like, this is what you said last year. You're like, but this time.
It's gambler's fallacy. Like if I just
year.
keep plunking down money, I'm going to win eventually. Here, take my house, take my car, take my soul. The Cowboys will win. That's Scooter.
Our defense is looking
not
good.
there
But
yet.
Theo, go ahead.
Yeah. What's your biggest whiff?
Any take that I've put money on is a bad one.
God doesn't like you gambling.
No. Anything regarded to the Cincinnati Bengals, man. I was a little bit. I thought Burrow was a little bit overrated, and I was really concerned about him after his rookie year. I was concerned about his ceiling because I didn't think he had a very strong arm. His rookie year, he didn't hit any deep shots. He didn't hit a single deep shot, like nothing over 20 yards down the field, and was coming off this horrible injury. And I was like, I don't know, dude. I think they're going to be pretty terrible. They lost like Carl Lawson in free agency, and they lost like William Jackson, and they replaced him with like Trey Hendrickson and Chidobe Awuzie, and I thought those were downgrades. I thought those were not as good as the other two, and they were obviously like a lot better. I said they'd be the second worst team in the league, and then they went to the Super Bowl, and yeah, it was really bad the whole year. And then this year, I looked at all the rosters, and I thought the Giants would be the worst team in the league. I was like, man, they got Daniel Jones.
That's fair.
They have no offensive line. They have no good weapons. They have Wink Martindale, who just blitzes and plays man coverage on the back end, and they have no corners that can hold up. And I was like, this is going to be terrible. This is going to be terrible. Yeah, this is not going to go well at all. And then so I gave them the 2-15 prediction after I gave the Bengals the 2-15 prediction. And then the Giants got to the second round of the playoffs. So whatever team I predict to go 2-15, it's 2 years in a row that they've made like deep playoff runs. It's
Can you predict the
it's
Cowboys to go 2-15 next
Oh, you don't have to
year?
predict that.
Okay. Okay. Fine.
You want to make
I
a
don't
bet? No, I'm not.
It's
gonna
going to
bet
be
that one.
the magic of the 2-15 curse is that the teams like, because the Bengals had like the 4th overall pick the year before, and the Giants, like neither of these teams had good odds to win the Super Bowl. They were like bottom 5, or everyone thought they'd be bad. Like the Vegas odds didn't like them. It has to be a bad team. I'm going to predict like, I don't know, the Bucks to go 2-15 or something. That's probably not what's going to happen. But
Okay.
I don't know. I have no idea. Just off the top of my head.
Actually, kind of adds up.
Sure.
Baker as
Baker
the
Mayfield
starter.
wins
I would
MVP.
say-
Baker Renaissance incoming.
Honestly,
I'm not saying that's what
I
I'm
would
going to
say
do. It's just
Bengals.
going to be some team that like doesn't have a quarterback, or because someone's got to go 2-15 every single year. There's like a really bad team out there. No fan base thinks their team is going to be that team, but there's like 2 or 3 out there. So
Could be
every
Packers.
year I've got to. Hey, maybe if Love isn't the guy if Love is what he looks like in the Chiefs game, or what is if Love is what his stats say he is, then maybe.
I mean, then you get Caleb Williams, and you're good to go.
Then we're good to go. Right.
I swear
So
to
the
God,
draft
Packers
is coming up.
Oh, I swear to God.
We're less than a month away from the draft. I know you do a lot of draft analysis, Theo.
Mhm.
What do you see happening at number 1 overall with the Panthers trading up? And
It's got to be Stroud.
Yeah, I think it's Stroud.
yeah, but they're saying, what's this scooter that AR-15
So
has?
Anthony Richardson, first of all, I don't know if you saw the throws he was able to make today. And he had dinner with the owner yesterday night. Anything? Is this something or nothing, Theo? Let us know.
It could be something. I mean, he's the most talented guy, really. Like, you
Go
think
Gators.
about if this guy hits, he's an absolute monster. And the guy is just a puppy, right? Like, the guy is really, really green. He only
Cute.
started
He's
13
really
games.
cute.
He's really
Yeah.
cute. Yeah, he's
Extraordinary.
adorable.
Yeah.
A lot of Gator fans don't like him because he kind of underwhelmed with the
Hold up.
expectations, I feel
Theo,
like.
Theo, I went to Florida.
Do you feel
Go
this is true?
Gators.
I know,
Well,
dude.
yeah,
I do not.
Scooter.
I do
Did
not
you
feel
were
like
you
that
not
is accurate.
frustrated?
Every Gator fan loves Anthony Richardson. What we hated was that our coach didn't play this man and was playing Emory Jones over him for a large portion of the season. So when he left early, we felt like we didn't even get to the best of Anthony Richardson because he's leaving early. That's how most UF fans are feeling.
Yeah, I think that's a valid thing to feel, and obviously he needs to get better, but you trade up that far. He reminds me a bit of Trey Lance, really. Like, when you looked at Trey Lance at North Dakota State, he did a lot of stuff that was pretty high level. Like, when it turns to the offense he was running, it looked a lot like an NFL offense. His mechanics were pretty good, but the accuracy wasn't quite there. He was throwing with anticipation. There were some good examples of like anticipatory throws, but the accuracy wasn't there and the experience wasn't there. And so he came into the league a total question mark, but because he had that really high ceiling, a team took a big swing on him, the 49ers. And that could be what's happening again, like the Panthers could be taking a big swing to trade up all that way. CJ Stroud he can't be the monster that Anthony Richardson can be. And Stroud can be really good, I believe so, but he can't be a Josh
Right,
Allen.
lower
He can't be a
ceiling,
Mahomes,
right.
right?
I think he's safer. Yeah.
he's safer. So, but if you're going to trade up all that way, maybe you want someone who can be the best quarterback in the league. And I think Anthony Richardson is really the guy with the tools to make that. I mean, he's the most athletic quarterback that we've ever seen at the combine. So I think it's possible that they take a big swing on Richardson the same way that the 49ers did with Lance. But man, you look at what Josh McCown has been saying on like the Underdog Fantasy podcast, where he's like, man, look at how great he is. He's so great. He's so great. And at the pro day, he talked to Stroud and
he said like when you
like,
live in Charlotte, right? He's
he says like when you live in Charlotte, we'll play basketball.
I mean, like
so,
Zach Wilson had a really great pro day too, and he flopped.
That could be misdirection too. You know how they do.
That's why he hit the ceiling. That's why he hit the ceiling. He was like, I can't do what Zach Wilson did and get everyone too hyped on my pro day. I've got to make some mistakes.
All right, last question before we let you go, Theo, and thanks again for coming on. And I know that you're Theo Ash, not Theo Vaughn, as the Simpson here.
This interview would be a lot crazier if I was Theo Vaughn. I can't replicate his. Sorry, everybody.
His comedic talents. Who is the greatest draft bust of all time? It doesn't have to be a 1-1. It doesn't have to just someone that you just saw. It doesn't have to be old school either. In your opinion, who's the biggest bust?
I don't know if he's the biggest, but I think one of the first round pick that had the worst results in the NFL, like the sheer lack of any good reps, was a couple years ago. The Titans took Isaiah Wilson. And my favorite detail about Isaiah Wilson is the only snaps he ever played were on special teams. And if I'm remembering this right, I watched all of his special team snaps, and he was getting bulldozed. He was like lining up to block for the field goal and was getting like run over. I can't remember if it was like the one snap he did have on the offensive line or if it was happening on the field goal attempts. But I remember just watching like 6 snaps that he played in his career, and he was getting just run over. And it was like the simplest it was like the one time he gets to play, and it just looked horrible. So he played about a dozen snaps in the NFL in his whole career. He was just getting steamrolled, and then he was out of the league immediately. And I think that there has never been a first-round pick that has ever gotten returns quite that bad. Maybe there's been first-round picks that have, underwhelmed more based on where they were taken. But I would assume that every, first-round pick is at least, or first overall pick is at least like thrown a touchdown or like gotten a sack or like made a single block or had a positive
started a game
or like had a positive rep in their career at one point. This guy, it never happened. It was nothing but bad. So there's probably some other ones deep in the history that I'm sure, you could really dig into and say like, this is actually the worst. He, did something really crazy or something. But, I think Isaiah Wilson had the first round pick with the least amount of positive returns ever.
You said you were on Radio Row for the Super Bowl, correct?
Yeah.
Tell us about that. What was that like? What was that experience?
Radio Row is insane, and the whole Super Bowl was insane just because there were just a lot of people with credentials, and there was it was a zoo really, and you felt like you were part of this big, machine of the NFL. Like on opening night, for example, it's just crazy how they make everything an event. Like we were on the floor of the Sun Stadium. There was a big crowd around us, and all the players were at podiums, and there was a big event happening on this cube and on top of the cube for all the fans to see. And I was just trying to do interviews, but everything was this big spectacle. And that's what the NFL does. And that really what kind of made it. It's like the NBA doesn't do this, I don't think. The MLB doesn't do this, where they just give all the baseball writers credentials to the World Series, and they throw on this huge event, and they throw it on prime time, and it's literally just a press conference. It's literally just reporters asking guys questions, and they made it like an event. And that was really interesting, and just goes to show it really is incredible how the NFL is able to market itself, how it endears itself to its writers, because it's like, who am I, right? They gave me Super Bowl credentials. And so now it's like, thank you, NFL. And then it builds goodwill towards the league. And they're just able to get
something positive. Yeah.
Yep. And you have all the players on camera, they're showing their face, they're showing their personality, and it's just a mundane thing. And it's something that, that league has players with helmets on and a lot of different players and offensive linemen who don't really make any highlights, and yet still the average people like know NFL players more than like any other league. It's really crazy. And I think just kind of being in that whole circus made me realize just what a machine they are and how good they are at doing stuff like that. But overall, like, it was funny. It was there was a lot of like foreign reporters there, which I thought was very funny. And I'd be like waiting to ask a question, and they were like, Jarek McKinnon, can we get a shout out to all the fans in Australia? Can I? What Australian animal are you most afraid of, Jarek? And like, it was like a bunch of that. Like, people were asking questions in languages the athletes didn't understand. It was like that's one thing that really I'll always remember is the Australian guy, and like Jason Kelce trying to comprehend some question in Spanish that he didn't really understand, and it was funny. It was just kind of a funny. There was a guy wearing a barrel, like just on this, like walking around, like asking people questions, and he was wearing literally just a barrel with like suspenders.
No,
it's
that's
like, this is a weird press conference I will ever go to.
Can you tell us, Theo, where can we find you online, and tell us about your podcast?
Yeah, so you can find me online at Theo Ash NFL on Twitter, Theo Ash on TikTok if it continues to exist, and the Stay Hot podcast on YouTube and also Twitter and TikTok. And that's me and my good friends Matt Sponhour and Bladen Kirk. So the Stay Hot podcast is everywhere. That's the three of us. And then my own individual work is Theo Ash NFL on TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube, I guess.
All right. Well, Theo, you killed it. Thanks for coming on board with us and taking your time to be on Clickbait Sports. You're welcome back anytime. And yeah, it was great having you.
Real quick, before you leave, Theo.
Yeah.
If you had to, let's say, hypothetically, add $300 to one of our accounts, one of us, Five, Brandon, Tree, Tom, or myself, what would you give the $300 to?
Got to lean to the Packers fan, Tom.
Oh, we're gonna plus 300.
We got to stick
Tom?
together. Yep.
That's it. You just punished me, but it's okay.
All right, so add 300 to Tom.
I appreciate you coming through today. We'll see. I will definitely be waiting to see for Jordan Love what happens there, and I will tweet you when he throws his first interception or 3.
I hope he starts against an easy opponent, man. Please give us
like the Cowboys.
Okay.
Well,
we're not playing the Cowboys this year.
We'll meet in the playoffs. The Cowboys and the Packers. That'll be the playoff matchup, and we'll see if we can.
Oh my God!
But Theo, thanks for coming on. Like I said, you're welcome anytime. Go Cowboys.
Yeah.
Thank you, Theo.
Go
Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Yeah.
You always got to roll with the Go
great.
Cowboys. Come on.
You killed it.
Oh, I wanted to
I
ask
like
you
Theo.
about Trump getting indicted. You guys never let me get my question in.
Were you going to ask him who he's going to vote for next
I
election?
wanted him to get into politics right before
He just breaks down
So,
debate
what's your
tapes.
opinion on pronouns? Okay. All right. What is this next segment? What are we doing now?
All right, let's go, baby. All right, now we're gonna have some fun. Scooter, get out. Leave.
Okay.
Scooter, bring your phone
Bye.
with you. I'll tell you when to come back.
How do we
Okay.
know? Oh, yeah.
Text me.
him.
Text
Bring
me
your
when to
phone
come
with you,
back.
and I'll call you when to come back.
This is
Okay.
when we talk about the 32 NFL coaches without
Get out.
Did we get a dating game sample or intro
leave.
song or anything? Did we upload that? No.
No, we didn't upload shit.
Are we really a different program?
Swear jar.
Okay. Anyway, let's get into the actual thing. So, one of the things that I wanted to bring to Clickbait Sports, considering we have the amount of people, is some improv games. I did improv a lot in college, very whose line is it anyway kind of style, and I thought it would be absolutely perfect for this. So we're going to start off with a super duper easy game this week, and it's going to be called the dating game. So as you've ever seen Whose Line Is It Anyway, or if you've ever watched a dating program, you will see that this format is very, very similar. So basically, Scooter is going to be our lovely bachelor, in which he is going to be taking home one of these fine contestants that you see above here. Now, the thing that I'm going to need from the audience is I am going to need people. They could be around, they could be players, they could be coaches, something to have to do with football or the NFL. And so basically the whole goal of this is Scooter is going to be trying to figure out who each of these individuals actually are. Which characters are they? So with that being said, let's go with 5 Point Vids. Let's take a look at the chat. Who is 5 Point Vids?
Bear Bound is who I'm supposed to be. I think he meant to type bear
I think
down.
he meant to be bear down. So can
Bear
you
bound. Or bear gown? I mean,
Ooh,
the D is
all
kind
right. You know what?
Zach,
Five.
Eli Manning, Daniel
High five.
Jones.
How about
Okay.
this? You
Antonio
are
Brown.
an actual bear who is a
Okay.
fan of the Chicago Bears.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm a
So
bear.
you are a fan of the Bears, but you're an actual real life bear.
I'm not
Okay.
a twink.
That's
I'm
your
a
character.
bear.
You got
Okay,
it. All right. We need Brandon
got
Perna. Who is
Give it
Brandon
to me.
Perna?
Give
What?
me something.
I actually, Jerry
You should
Jones
be
is
Russell
great.
Wilson.
I can't judge on the D. No.
Can
Is
you
it
do
gonna
that
be
the
too-
entire time?
Yeah, but I can't say my own name.
Yeah, you can't say your own name, so because you can't
But
tell
that's how
Scooter
you
who
do
you are.
impression. Judge Jones.
Oh,
Brandon
you
should be
could-
Dan
Ooh,
Campbell.
You
Dan
could, you know what?
Campbell.
How about this? You, Jerry Jones, Tree, you're Dan Campbell.
Oh boy.
Okay, you're gonna bite
All right.
some kneecaps.
I feel like we could do this. Okay, so just to recap here. 5, who are you?
I'm a bear that likes the Bears.
Yup, Perna.
I'm Judge Jones.
And Tree.
I'm Dan Campbell.
Phenomenal. Okay,
All
so
right.
we're gonna bring Scooter back in. All right, chat.
Okay.
Do not spoil who any of the contestants are. Don't be that person. All right. So basically, Scooter's gonna ask a bunch of questions and try to guess. We'll go a couple of rounds, and the game is over when Scooter eventually guesses all 3 contestants. We're ready to go?
Yes.
Yeah.
Text
Okay.
him.
Great. All right, 5, you're contested 1. Perna, you're contested 2. Tree, you're contested 3. Hold on, let me call Scooter. I gotta call him now. I just gotta. No, that's Twitter. Okay, please hold. Gotta call. Please hold. I should have had his number ready. Please hold. Your call is very important to us. Oh no, that's a different person. There he is. Okay, got him. Okay, I'm just gonna call him back
Some
in.
quick research on Dan Campbell and his quotes. I mean, you got to get in the role, baby.
Of course, you gotta. It's method acting. You're Daniel Day-Lewis. Watch him not pick up, and he just left for the show.
There he is. He's
Oh,
back.
there he is. Perfect. Excellent. Wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome our lovely Batcher one, Scooter Magruder. Everybody, a big round of applause. Scooter, before we get started, thank you for coming on the show. I know that you're looking for love. What kind of stuff are you looking for here?
I'm just looking for someone who's gonna treat me right, hold me at nighttime, maybe go on long walks with me on the beach. Just someone who's there for me, who truly understands the struggle that is being a Cowboys fan. That's what I'm looking for out of
Excellent.
this.
Excellent. Well, I was about to say, it's a good thing you're looking for that because the Cowboys will not give it to you. So let's introduce our beautiful contestants here. We have contestant number 1 right here. Contestant 1, just say a little bit about yourself.
Roar. I like honey. Roar.
All right, a great job. Contestant number 2, a little bit about yourself.
I'm rich. I'm so rich.
Oh, okay.
I'm
all right.
very wealthy.
Oh, well, not going to let his
I'll take care
personality
of
do the
you,
talking
Scooter.
when his wallet
I'll
can.
take care of you.
And finally, contestant number 3.
One thing I got to say, I don't like turds. I don't like leaving turds behind.
All right. Well, it seems like he is a clean wiper. So, with that, Scooter, do you have a question either for each of the contestants or one question for all of the contestants?
Yes, I do have a question. This goes to contestant number 1 as well as contestant number 2.
Oh.
If we were to go out on a date, can you describe the perfect first date?
Ooh, that's great. Contestant number 1.
For me, we would go back to my den and we would put on some Jim McMahon highlights. That would be perfect.
Wow. That sounds like an evening that you would never forget. Contestant number 2, an idea of the perfect date.
Whew. I say we go for a little cruise on one of my boats. Do you like boats, Scooter?
I do. I do enjoy boats.
Have you ever sailed through the Mediterranean?
Not yet. Not as of yet.
Want to?
I mean, maybe. I'm feeling like contestant number 2 is some owner of some sort. Like he's got some deep pockets. You know, I've always said I wouldn't mind dating an owner.
Oh, well,
You're looking for a long-term commitment? I'll give you a too long term of a commitment.
That's
okay.
That's a pretty obvious clue right there.
Little flirting going on from contestant number 2. And Scooter, do you have a question for contestant number 3?
Contestant number 3. What do you like to eat for food?
That's actually a good thing. I enjoy a nice char grilled kneecap. I enjoy eating that well. I enjoy a lot of things. And I told my dates, honestly, day one, I said, look, I'm not carrying your toilet paper around. I'm going to wipe your butt. You're going to wipe your own butt. You handle it, and I'll treat you like men until you prove otherwise. That's always been my motto,
pause.
especially with eating or doing anything.
Time out. What the hell does this mean? What's a hook nose? What's that?
Contestant number 2, I'm going to just suggest that you don't.
I mentioned I like a thing about hook nose, especially because I feel like it tastes a bit like chicken.
Okay. Well, Scooter, obviously some great answers. You 100% have the best contestants that we could have possibly offered. Do you have any ideas of a contestant that you may want to eliminate? Maybe you've kind of just figured them out and you're kind of over it, or do you want to do another round of questioning just to get to know them a little bit better?
Well, honestly, I'm not really into, what's it called when humans eat other humans?
Cannibals.
I'm not into cannibalism like that. So I'm going to go ahead and have to let Dan Campbell go, contestant number 3. It's just not my vibe.
Campbell, I appreciate you. I hope that you find love at some point. It's just not going to be here.
This is hard for my players. It's so hard for my players.
Maybe next. Contestant 1 and contestant 2. I have an idea, but I feel like I need to get to know them a little bit better.
Of course. So at this point, Scooter, do you have another question for contestant 1, 2? Could be the same one, also could be a different question.
Contestant number 1, are you a human being?
Well, I am an actor. You might have seen me in a movie recently. But no, I'm not a human being. The movie was rated R.
Maybe a pirate of some sort. That's contestant 1. Thank you. Just a lovely accent.
And contestant number 2, I know that you're this big wig. I know that you're this owner. I kind of like the accent. Can't hold you. But I need some more clarification. I know you're not my owner, Jerry Jones. Right? I know you're not Jerry. Or are you?
Well, Scooter, why
are
don't
you an owner in the state of Texas? Is my question.
It's a very specific dating question.
Yeah.
So the dating question is: are you an owner in Texas? Contestant number 2.
I like to think I own the whole league. I like to think I own everything.
Yes. Or
I'm rich.
I think that you've gotten the answer that you could possibly have wanted. That he is a rich.
So this is my owner.
Let's just say I could, if I wanted to, pay off one of my biological children.
Okay, listen, I don't have any interest in dating.
If I wanted to, just say hypothetically.
This is a little bit incestual. I'm gonna have to eliminate contestant number 2, Jerry. Maybe next time.
You got rid of JoJo.
Not right now.
All right, and so that leaves us with 1 contestant left. Contestant number 1, Scooter. Do you have any other questions for contestant number 1, or are you ready to just live out the rest of your days in romance and bliss?
Listen, I am still a little bit clueless on who the heck contestant number 1 is. Really, all I know is that they were in some movie and they're not human.
Oh, I'm sorry, contestant number 1. I think you have a little white powder underneath.
Yes, the movie was involved
you could just
a lot of cocaine.
All right,
and then
subtlety is dead.
Are you the gosh darn cocaine bear? Like what the?
Well, no. I could be, but there's another part to it. Just I am a bear, but
So
there's
maybe
more questions you need
maybe
to ask.
Scooter, you ask contestant one what his hobbies are, what his interests are,
what
and
do
what
you
he
like
likes
to do, contestant number 1? Let me know if we're compatible.
So I like getting like football cards and then trading them away. Like I had the best football card that you could have, and then I traded it to some Panther or something like that. I just got rid of it. So the Panther came up to me in the woods, and I was like, "Here, you take this," and I don't like it. It's too big, so I traded down from it.
I mean, I that makes total sense to me, of course. So that makes nothing but sense. Scooter,
Because I'm a bear. That's what bears do.
we did establish that he was a bear. Yup.
Yes.
And now we're really just trying to figure out like what his hobbies are as a bear, because it's a very specific thing that this one bear likes to do. Potentially like on a day of the week, particularly. Maybe one specific day of the week.
I am very lost right now. I'm going to need I know like everyone's saying that's such a good I have no idea what the heck is going on.
You know what? Real quick,
right
if you don't mind, Scooter, if you don't mind, contestant 1, what kind of things do you like to wear on dates?
Wear on a date? I mean, I usually just wear in my bear suit, but my favorite colors are orange and blue. Like them. And my favorite thing to do is lose to the Packers on Sunday. I love doing that. I just love losing to the Packers and also losing in painful ways. It's been a long time. I'm not very good at winning anything, really.
Tom, ask this man another question.
Okay. Oh, you want me to ask for you?
Ask him another question. I have no idea. I'm still so lost.
You know what? Contestant number 1, where are you from?
I'm from the Midwest.
You
know, little town in the Midwest. You know, little place that it's called the Second City. You know?
And what's the weather like? Maybe
it's windy. It's windy there all the time. That's why I hang out in my cave.
Are you just the Bears mascot? Like what?
What fan?
Oh, we want to give it to him.
What fan of what team would you say he's a fan of, Scooter?
The Chicago Bears.
So what is he?
A Chicago Bear?
What is he? Like what animal is he?
A bear
who is a fan of
Chicago.
What team, Scooter?
The Chicago Bears?
Yes! He's a bear. There you go.
Oh,
that is a fan of the Chicago Bears.
That was rough.
Boy, that was as prolonged as Scooter's rants about the Dallas.
Going to Gibson's on our first date.
I was like, I thought it was a person. I didn't think it was like a whole team. Okay.
No. You chose to date an animal. You don't like cannibalism, but I don't know what
bestiality
you're
is in your future, Scooter. I hope the both of you are very happy for quite some time. You could relate to losing to Aaron Rodgers. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the dating game. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
And all the beautiful
That was great. That was
so are we actually going to talk about the 32 NFL coaches?
Yeah, let's do it real quick. Let's end the show with this.
All right, you want me to do it with my eyes closed?
Go, Brandon, go.
All right, you got Pete Carroll, Kyle Shanahan. Okay, we're going to start at the NFC West. Pete Carroll, Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay. Sean McVay, Jonathan Gannon. AFC West, Sean Payton, Andy Reid, I think I know everything. Daniels, Brandon Staley. AFC South, got some change here. D'Amico Ryans for the Texans. Then you got the Colts with Shane Steichen. I got to stop covering my eyes. You got the Colts. Where are we? AFC South, Colts, AFC Jaguars, South. Dougie P. And who's else is
Tennessee.
In the AFC South?
Tennessee
Titans, Mikey Vrabel.
Yep.
NFC South, Dennis Allen, Saints, Todd Bowles, Falcons, Frank Reich, Panthers.
Todd Bowles is the Buccaneers, isn't he?
Yeah, sorry, Todd Bowles, Buccaneers, Arthur Smith, Falcons. AFC East, Sean McDermott. Ooh, I peaked Sean McDermott. Robert Saleh, Bill Belichick, and the greatest coach in that division, Mike McDaniel. NFC East, Brian Dable, Ron Rivera, Mike McCarthy, and Nick Sirianni.
Too easy.
NFC North.
Yes.
NFC North, we got Matt Eberflus.
That's the first Matt you say, you douche.
That's right. Matt number 1. Matt number 2, Matty LaFleur.
Wipe LaFleur.
Kevin
Wipe
O'Connell. And of course, Dan Kneecap, One Ass Cheek Campbell. AFC North, John Harbaugh, Zach Taylor,
Nice.
Kevin Stefanski, and
Bring
Mike.
it home.
I am the king of this division, Tomlin.
You don't live in your
All of them?
fears.
Is
Congratulations.
that all of them?
Yep.
Let's go.
Jerry Jones.
All right, run the countdown.
Please. Get us
Okay.
all out of our misery.
Yeah. That's right. That thing froze, so again, I don't. Is that 20 yet? Sounds like
2019.
18, 17, 16, 15, 4. Tree was on international news before.
No, we're
He
not.
was broadcast into every single country in France. Why did I celebrate France? I don't know, but let's dance now. We're dancing.
Underpants. Underpants.
I mean, France had a
I
lot of
see
colonies,
London.
so I mean, you're technically right.
I see London.
Thanks, guys.
I made $79.19, so I did not
Whoa,
lose
I
today.
did not win. I only made 124. I am a happy man. Let's go.
Holy crap. 313. Gerald
Tom-
Watson, you sneaky son of a gun.
It's okay. Five's still gonna lose, probably.
We're at $50 USD.
$50. Yep.
Miss
Five
Bald
lost
man.
again.
Bald man. Where we at? Where we at?
We got
Come on.
5.
Come on. Tell us. Tell us.
We got $405.83. Fuck all ya. Oh, excuse me. Bears can cuss.
That's an extra $100. Let's
The
go.
bear doesn't know.
And even
wait,
Tom
if
with that
we
extra
added
$300, he
Yeah,
still
even
loses.
with $300, I would only made $379, so I still don't lose.
There
Let's
we
go.
go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Hey, good stuff.
All right, I owe y'all a punishment. I couldn't get to it because I was at Madison Square Garden. So, think of another punishment, boys.
Your
Not gonna lie, I got a
punishment is
little
your
nervous for you
miserable,
to coach this
pathetic
thing,
existence as a man.
Oh, wow.
That's every day, buddy. Every day.
Yep.
That's not a
That's why it's a
punishment.
punishment.
That's me
Oh,
getting
you
up
gotta
in the
take
morning.
Viagra before next show.
What?
Hey, look, I'm
You gotta
horny
do the
enough.
next show on Viagra.
Can you dress as a bear in a Bears jersey?
Oh.
I like that one.
I
Just
can,
come
I
out
can do
as
a
your
bear
contestant.
suit. All right, I'll
I
say
bear
bear
suit.
Bear
suit.
suit.
You gotta paint
All right.
yourself doing a bear
Oh,
impression.
Ben, I'm already
with a
there.
bear
I'm
suit.
already there, dude. I cried myself.
I've got to paint myself. Wait, you're adding more layers to this. I'm already wearing a bear suit
Bear suit
Gotta
and a
wear
Bears
Bears
jersey. What do you got,
Bears
Ben?
and a Bears jersey and a
Bear
bear
suit
suit.
and a Bears
Or like a
jersey.
big bear shirt.
Okay.
That's fine. But yeah.
Okay, bear shirt.
And you
Beautiful.
still
A
gotta
little
take
cheaper.
Viagra.
Perno, what do you got coming out?
Tomorrow I got a quarterbacks episode about the QBs in the draft.
There you go. Scoots.
I got some Final Four action coming out tomorrow. Preview.
Nice.
Fans before.
Nice. Tree.
Well, I released a video about Lamar Jackson on Tuesday, and I'm probably going to drink myself to sleep tonight. So
Whoa.
good times.
All right. We're talking about our day plans too. And 5.
I have a video on the biggest stat vultures in sports where guess who scored the most empty net goals? Guess who has the most short yardage touchdowns without any long yardage touchdowns? Guess who's hit the most 3-0 count home runs in baseball? And in basketball, who has the highest percentage of their points come from the charity stripe? Ooh, it's all there. It's very, very
In-depth.
these lazy
Real quick.
sports players.
Real quick, opening day. Tree and 5. Who's winning? Who's winning it all this year?
Probably the Houston Astros because there's no God.
I'm gonna say the Mets because
Got something good that happened to you.
Yeah,
That's fair.
I'm gonna say the Mets.
Well,
going
guys,
Scooter.
let us know about this new format, how you like it, what you think we should tweak, and we'll see you guys next week for another Clickbait Sports.
Peace.
Hot cow.
You just got clicked.